The gold ring.
The rain falls outside my window. It is a very slow rain today. The house is very, very big. It is a mansion. It is a beautiful house, but it is always quiet. The quiet here is too big. I am here. I sit on the chair and look at the rain. I touch my gold ring. The gold ring is on my hand. It is very heavy. The ring is a sign of my promise to Julian. But today, the ring feels like a very cold chain on my finger. Julian is my husband. He bought this very big house. He bought all the nice, expensive furniture. He bought the perfect life. He bought me, in a way. I am like a beautiful, expensive picture in his perfect, quiet house. He looks at me every single day. He smiles at me, but he does not see me. He sees only the picture. My name is Elara. I say my name softly. I try to remember the old Elara. The old Elara was 25. She was happy. She laughed a lot. Her hair was always messy. She wore cheap, comfortable clothes. The new Elara is 32 years old. She is Julian's wife. My job is to be perfect. Every morning, I put on the perfect clothes. I put on the perfect smile. It is a show. Julian is a very good man. He is kind. He works hard at his job. He gives me everything I need. Much money, safety, and a very quiet life. He protects me from the world. Julian is like a gardener. He is a very rich gardener. He takes care of a special, very expensive flower. This flower is me. He gives me the best water. He gives me the best sun. He gives me the perfect pot. But he never asks the flower if it wants to be here. He does not ask the flower about its roots. He does not ask for my feelings. He just wants me to be here, beautiful and quiet. Next to him, I am happy on the outside, but inside, I am dry. I am a flower without a real heart. Our living room is all white. The walls are white. The big sofa is gray. The floor is dark wood. The furniture is very expensive and very cold. The art on the walls is quiet and strange. There is never any dust in this house. Everything is always clean. Everything is in its perfect place. I walk slowly from the kitchen to the living room. My light steps make a quiet sound on the wooden floor. I feel very small in this big, empty house. Julian's world has no strong colors. It has no strong smells. My old life had the smell of cheap coffee and colorful paint. This life smells only of clean air and quiet perfume. This silence is my prison. I go to the big mirror in our bedroom. I look at my face. I wear a dark blue dress tonight. The diamonds on my neck are very bright. They cost much money. But my eyes are empty. They look cold and very tired. They look like a lake that is frozen in a long, dark winter. Julian came into the room. He put his hand on my shoulder. His hand is warm. "You are very beautiful, Elara," he said. It was not a question. It was a simple fact. I understood the big truth then. My life is wonderful, but it is not my life. It is only Julian's perfect life. I am only an object. Before Julian, I had a different life. This life was many years ago. It was a very hot and happy summer. I was young then. I was full of energy. I knew what real love was. Love was not safe. It was not quiet. It was dangerous and very exciting. It was like a very big, hot fire that makes you feel alive. It tasted like cheap coffee from a small, dirty shop. The coffee was very strong. It smelled like oil paint and old wood from a very old house. His name was Elias. He was an artist. He was very different from Julian. Elias loved to take big, fast risks. He loved the real me, the me that cried, the me that made big mistakes, the me that was not perfect. Elias did not have much money. He was an architect, but he was still a student. He was learning his job slowly. His hands were important. His hands were always dirty. They had pencil dust on them. They had drops of paint on them. They were real hands. We went to old, empty buildings in the city. The buildings were beautiful and broken. We drew pictures of houses on small pieces of paper. We had big, crazy dreams for our future together. He said, "We will build a life that is messy and real, Elara." He told me that real beauty is not perfect. Real beauty is strong. Real beauty is alive. He made me feel important. He saw the big, beautiful fire in my eyes. He saw the real Elara. I remembered the day I told him about Julian. It was a very sunny day. We were in his small apartment. The apartment was full of books and paint. I said, I will marry Julian. I said it quickly. His face was very sad. It was dark. He did not say many words. He said, Why, Elara? Why the cold? He felt sorry for the woman I would become. He looked at my hands. He did not touch my hands. That look was worse than any angry word. He knew I was choosing safety over my own heart. I saw the fire die in his eyes. He let me walk away. He let me choose the cold. Julian's ring is gold. It is heavy gold. It is not cheap silver. It is a golden cage. I sit here and I think about the many differences between Julian and Elias. Julian wears expensive suits. Elias wore old jeans. Julian talks about money. Elias talked about life. Julian gives me quiet. Elias gave me music. Julian is a good man. Elias was the right man. Julian gives me security every day. Elias gave me life every minute. I chose the security. I chose the big, safe box. But I left my heart outside the box. I walk slowly to my dressing room. I open a drawer. I move the expensive silk clothes. I have a small, broken wooden box there. It is old and simple. It is the only thing I hide. Inside this box, there is only one thing. It is a letter. I wrote this letter to Elias 7 years ago. I wrote it the night before my wedding to Julian. I did not send the letter. It is still a secret. The letter has the truth. The letter said, I am very scared of the cold, Elias. I choose safety because I am much more afraid of the fire. I am weak. I chose the easy life. This letter is my sad reminder. I left my real self that night. I left the fire. I sit on the floor and hold the letter. My hands are shaking. This letter is the proof that I am alive. I am Julian's wife, but I am not me. I am sad because I made this choice. Julian did not force me. I forced myself. I was afraid of being poor. I was afraid of the risk. I was afraid of the fire. I close my eyes. I can still smell the paint from Elias's apartment. I can still hear his laugh. That laugh is louder than the quiet rain outside. The memory is strong. The memory is my only true love now. If you like learning English by hearing real stories like this, please think about subscribing. There is a new one every day. My life is quiet and exactly the same every day. The routine is a heavy blanket. Every morning is the same time. Every night is the same time. The security is perfect, but the security is killing me slowly. I go to yoga class at 9. I go to lunch with Julian's rich friends at noon. The talks are not real. The women talk about jewelry and holidays. I walk alone in the park in the afternoon. I look at the big, beautiful, perfect flowers. I talk more to the gardeners than to my friends. The gardeners talk about the earth. They talk about the sun. They talk about what a plant needs to grow well. I think, what do I need to grow well? Do I need fire or cold? Do I need security or freedom? It is a little mouse voice now. When I try to say what I really think, for example, Julian, I am not happy in this beautiful, cold house. The words feel dusty and old in my mouth. They do not come out. Julian would not understand. He would think I am bad. He would think I do not see the good things he gives me. He would think I am crazy. He would call a doctor for my head. So, I keep quiet. The many words I do not say make me feel heavy inside my stomach. My unsaid words are a big, heavy stone in my body. Last week, Julian bought me a new necklace. It was a very big diamond. He gave it to me on our anniversary. This is for your patience, Elara, he said. He thought I was sad because I did not have enough jewelry. I smiled. I put the necklace on my neck. The diamond was beautiful, but I did not feel happy. I looked at the big diamond. It was heavy and cold, like the ring. This diamond cost much money. It could buy 10 small houses, but it could not buy 1 minute of real happiness for me. The necklace was a gift, but it was also a heavy payment for my quiet life. I think about telling Julian the truth, but the fear is strong. If I tell him the truth, I do not love you. He will be hurt. He is a good man. He will be angry. I will lose the house. I will lose the money. I will lose the safety. I will be alone. I will be the old Elara again. The fire is scary. The idea of being poor is scary. Julian's kindness is a wall. It stops me from telling him the true problem. I do not want to break his heart, but I am already breaking my own heart every day. Yesterday was different. Yesterday was a shock. I drove my big, expensive car to a small, old bookshop in the city. The bookshop was full of old paper and old stories. I went inside. I was looking for a book of poems. I wanted to read something real. Then, I saw him. I saw Elias. He was standing near the back window. The light was soft there. I stopped walking. My heart stopped. It did not beat for a moment. He looked older now. His hair was a little gray, like the morning sky. But his eyes were the same. His eyes were the fire. They were strong. They were real. He was holding a book. It was a book of poems we read many years ago. We read it together in his small, messy apartment. The moment was very strange. Time stopped working. 7 years went away very fast. I was 25 again. I was back in the summer fire. He looked up. He saw me. His eyes were wide. His face showed a small surprise, then a deep sadness. I was wearing Julian's expensive coat. I was wearing the big, cold diamonds. I looked like Julian's wife. I did not move. He did not come to me. We stayed far apart in this small bookshop. We were like two people looking at each other through a thick wall of glass. He was still the fire. I was the ice. I made that choice a long time ago. He put the book down slowly on the table. He did not smile. He did not cry. He only looked at the diamonds on my neck. The diamonds were very bright. He looked at the gold ring on my hand. The ring was heavy. I felt very cold. I wanted to speak his name. I wanted to say, "I am sorry, Elias." But my throat was closed. I had no voice. He looked at me one last time, with pity in his eyes. Then, he walked out of the bookshop. He walked into the street. He left me alone, with my diamonds and my fear. I did not smile. I did not cry. I only felt a quick, sharp pain in my chest. It was not the pain of wanting him back, not a small love. It was the pain of knowing the big life I lost. I lost the life that was full of truth. I lost the man who would really ask about my day and listen to my answer. Seeing him made me know the truth. I am sad forever. The big house, the diamonds, the safe life, all of it was not worth this moment of pain. I drove home. I was very quiet. I sat on the sofa for hours. Julian came home late that night. He was happy. He kissed me on the cheek. "Hello, love," he said. He asked about my day. I said, "It was quiet." I did not tell him about Elias. He did not ask more questions. He saw I was quiet. He touched my hand. "Is something wrong, Elara?" he asked. Julian was truly worried. He looked at me with his kind eyes. "Is your head hurting? Do you need a new car? Do you need to go to Paris for a week?" He thinks my sadness is a simple sickness. He thinks money or a holiday can fix it quickly. His kindness is a very big, strong wall. This wall stops me from telling him the true problem. I cannot tell him, "Your money is not the problem. Your money is the cage." He can fix anything except my heart. I tried to talk to him. I tried to speak the real words. "Julian," I said, "can we sit together? Can we just talk? About us, not about work, not about money, just us." He looked at his watch. "Later, Elara, I have a very important phone call in 5 minutes. We can talk about us tomorrow. Is that okay?" He gave me a quick smile. He walked away to the big, quiet office. He chose work over me. He always chooses work over me. I am married to a good man. He is a very good man. He is safe. But my life is a lie. This house is a lie. My smile is a lie. Can we sit together? Can we just talk? About us, not about work, not about money, just us. He looked at his watch. "Later, Elara, I have a very important phone call in 5 minutes. We can talk about us tomorrow. Is that okay?" He gave me a quick smile. He walked away to the big, quiet office. He chose work over me. He always chooses work over me. I am married to a good man. He is a very good man. He is safe. But my life is a lie. This house is a lie. My smile is a lie. My husband is married to a dollar fake Elara. The real me is gone. The person I truly love is the memory of the woman who left Elias that night. I love the person I could be. My heart is not free. My heart is crying every day for the old me. I am cheating on Julian with my own past. I cannot sleep tonight. I am restless. I get out of bed. I walk to the window. The rain stopped many hours ago. The sky is dark and clear now. I look at the small alarm clock on the bedside table. It is 3 a.m. Julian is still on his phone call in the office. He is still working. He is still choosing work. The house is quiet again. The quiet is very loud tonight. I look at the empty space beside me in the bed. Julian is not here. But the bed feels empty even when he is here. I am not sad because he is gone for work. I am sad because I was weak 7 years ago. I made the wrong choice. I am the one who keeps the cage locked. It is not Julian. It is my own choice. I choose this every morning when I put the gold ring on my hand. I am the jailer. I take the gold ring off my finger. It feels very cold and very heavy in my hand. It is beautiful gold. It is perfect gold. But it does not fit my heart anymore. I put the ring on the bedside table. The ring is a perfect circle. My life is a perfect circle. A closed loop. I need to break the circle. I need to open the door. I need to let the fire back in. The easy life cost me my truth and my fire. It cost me my real laugh. But the free life will cost me everything else. The house, the money, the diamonds, the safety. The cost is high. I must tell the truth. But first, I must tell it to myself. I must talk to the girl I left behind in the summer. I stand up. I walk to the big, cold mirror. I look at my face in the mirror. I do not see the doll. I see a small spark of the old Elara. I speak softly to the mirror. Elara, I say, you are not a picture. You are not a doll. You are a person. You must choose the fire now. It is okay to be scared. The words feel real in the quiet room. I close my eyes. I do not think about the past now. I do not think about Julian's anger or Elias's sadness. I think only about the next thing, the hard thing, the necessary thing. I open my eyes. The moon is strong and bright. I look at the gold ring one last time on the table. It is just metal. I take a very deep, slow breath. I must think about the new Elara, who will wake up tomorrow. The new day is coming. If you like learning English by hearing real stories like this, please think about subscribing. There is a new one every day. The sun rises slowly. It is a new morning. I wake up in the big, cold bed. I feel different. I feel strong. I feel a little scared. I look at the bedside table. The gold ring is still there. I do not touch it. I stand up. I do not put on the diamonds. I put on simple clothes. Today is the day of truth. I must go to the office and talk to Julian. I must be the new Elara. I walk to Julian's big, quiet office. The door is open. Julian is not there. The office is empty. I see a small note on his big desk. The note says, Elara, I went to Paris for work. I will be back on Friday. Call me if you need anything. I read the note slowly. He left for a week. He did not say goodbye. He chose work. He chose money. He chose the flight over me. I feel a small, cold laugh in my throat. I am not sad now. I am free. The choice is easy now. Julian made the choice for me. I do not have to break his heart today. He is not here. I am alone. I am free to start my new life. The safe wall is gone. I walk out of the office. I leave the note on the desk. I go to my dressing room. I take a small bag. I put my old clothes in the bag. I put the small, broken wooden box with the letter in the bag. I leave the diamonds. I leave the expensive coats. I leave the gold ring on the bedside table. I look at the big, quiet house one last time. It is not my prison anymore. It is just a very big, empty house. I walk out the big front door. The sun is warm on my face. It is the first time I feel the sun in 7 years. I walk to the street. I do not take the expensive car. I start walking. I do not know where I am going. I do not have much money. I do not have a plan. But I have my feet. I have my bag. The feel of the asphalt under her shoes was strange, almost alien. For 7 years, the protagonist, let's use the name Elara, internally, for flow, though it won't appear in the text, had only known the softness of Persian rugs, the cold gleam of polished marble, and, occasionally, the carpeted interior of luxury cars. Now, every step on the cracked pavement was an echo of her new reality, hard, uncertain, yet undeniably her own. The sun, which she mentioned feeling, for the first time in years, was not just warm, it was scorching. It didn't just illuminate, it revealed the dust and neglect on her skin that had been carefully preserved and hidden, like a museum piece, from real life. The cold laugh in her throat had dissipated, replaced by a complex feeling, the euphoria of freedom mixed with a paralyzing terror. She was a bird that, after the cage was opened, realized it had forgotten how to fly. The note on Julian's desk was brief, but it contained everything she needed to say. I am sorry, but I am no longer yours. She felt grateful that he had made the choice easy by not being there. But the deeper truth was that his absence was not the catalyst for her departure, but rather the realization of her own withering. The safe wall that surrounded her did not protect her. It suffocated her, leaving behind the diamonds and the expensive coats. The gold ring symbols of empty wealth was a deliberate act of stripping away. Her luggage was light, old clothes and the small, broken wooden box. The only relic of a life she had the right to reclaim as her own. The first stop, the noise of the world. She walked for an hour, ignoring the growing pain in her feet. She avoided looking back. The big, quiet house was now a distant memory, a shadow. However, the tree-lined street gave way to a busier landscape, and the noise of traffic began to invade her ears. It was the sound of the real world, chaotic and unpredictable. She stopped in front of a small cafe with faded chairs on the sidewalk. Her stomach protested with a loud, embarrassing growl. She fumbled in her pocket, feeling the few crumpled bills. Money was an immediate and urgent concern. "I need a plan," she whispered, entering the cafe. The aroma of strong coffee and fresh bread was intoxicating. She sat in a discreet corner and ordered only a black coffee and a piece of bread. The taste was simple, but it was the first meal she had chosen in years. While sipping the coffee, she opened the small bag and pulled out the wooden box. The scent of old cedar and mild mold hit her. She caressed the cracked wood. Inside, the piece of yellowed paper, the letter. It wasn't a love letter, but her mother's last annotation before passing away, left along with the box. It said, in hurried handwriting, "Look for the lighthouse at the end of the world. The key is in the memory. You are stronger than you think." The lighthouse at the end of the world, ... She frowned. It was a nickname her mother used to describe a place on the coast where they spent their childhood summers. A real lighthouse on a small rocky peninsula, hundreds of miles away. She hadn't thought about that place since she was 10. Suddenly, the absence of a plan was no longer a void, but a direction. The idea of going there was ridiculous, impractical, but it sparked a glimmer of genuine hope that the cold laugh from the morning couldn't offer. Fear and the decision, however. Hope was soon accompanied by fear. She felt the weight of what she had left behind. Julian was an influential man. He would not accept her departure passively. What will he do when he reads the note? The image of his face, usually cold and controlled, contorted in fury or, worse, in pain, caused her a pang of guilt. She had hurt him, but the alternative was the slow death of her own soul. She stood up abruptly, the bread and coffee only partially consumed. The decision was made. The lighthouse. It was the only place where she would feel truly invisible, and where she might find the key her mother mentioned. She needed transport, and she needed anonymity. She looked at the bathroom mirror in the cafe. The woman staring back still wore clothes that screamed wealth. Despite being old, her hair was too silky, her skin too pale. She needed to change. The roadside twist. She used her little money to buy cheap clothes at a second-hand store. Old jeans, a flannel jacket, and a baseball cap. She cut her long hair unevenly with a pair of scissors borrowed from the store attendant, who looked at her with suspicion and compassion. She no longer looked like Julian's trophy wife. She looked like a directionless backpacker. She managed to get a seat on a long-distance bus heading south, towards the coast. The trip lasted 2 days and 1 night. An experience of deprivation and human proximity that she had never known. She ate sandwiches wrapped in paper, slept hunched in the seat, and listened to the mundane stories of her fellow travelers. Each mile took her further from Julian's cage, but brought her closer to the sea and, ironically, to a lost key. The forgotten note on the second night, as the bus stopped at a roadside diner in the middle of nowhere. She opened the wooden box to reread the note, but there was something else. A folded piece of paper, hidden in the bottom, under the worn velvet lining. It wasn't her mother's handwriting. It was Julian's tight, familiar script. Her heart gave a violent leap. How did this get here? She unfolded it, her hands trembling so much, the paper rustled. The date was a week ago. "Elara, don't try to understand now. I know you will leave. I know you need to. I saw the light fading from your eyes a long time ago and couldn't light it again, no matter how many gifts I gave or how securely I built your wall. I am a coward. The man you met 7 years ago, the man you thought loved you, I lost him. I know about the lighthouse. Your mother told me once, years ago, when we first met, that it was your place. Your mother's key is not a location, Elara. It is your memory of yourself there. The small box you are taking with you. It's not the box I gave you. I swapped it. Inside this one is the truth about your father's debt. It wasn't your diamonds that were needed for the settlement, but the ownership of the
Best
lighthouse
son.
property.
He
I
gives
bought
me
it,
the perfect
not as
pot,
collateral, but to
but
keep
he
it out of
never
the creditor's
asks the
hands.
flower if
I
it
am
wants
the
to
owner,
be here.
but not for long.
He does not ask
Attached
the
to this
flower
letter,
about
you will
its
find the
roots.
transfer deed.
He does
The
not
lighthouse
ask
is
for my
yours now.
feelings.
I transferred
He
it
just
to your
wants
name
me to
3
be
days
here,
ago. If you read
beautiful
this,
and
it means you
quiet
knew you
next
weren't
to
mine.
him.
Please
I
go
am
there
happy
and
on
use
the
it to be free.
outside,
Julian,
but
she
inside
felt the
I
air
am
thin.
dry.
The letter
I
fell
am a
from her
flower
hands onto the
without
dusty
a
bus
real
floor.
heart.
It wasn't
Our
hatred.
living room
It
is
wasn't
all
revenge.
white.
It was love.
The
A
walls
love
are
distorted by
white.
fear and the need for
The
control,
big
but a
sofa is
genuine
grey.
sacrifice
The
in the end.
floor is
Julian
dark
hadn't just
wood.
imprisoned
The
her out of
furniture is
possessiveness.
very
He had
expensive
protected her,
and
using
very
his wealth
cold.
to isolate
The
her from the
art on the
danger of
walls
losing
is
the only
quiet
place from
and
her childhood that
strange.
mattered.
There
The
is
twist was
never any
overwhelming.
dust
He
in
had
this
sacrificed
house.
himself to be the villain
Everything
in her
is
story,
always
just to
clean.
ensure she had a future.
Everything is
She
in
picked
its
up the deed
perfect
that was
place.
folded in the paper.
I walk
The weight
slowly
of the
from the
revelation
kitchen
was
to the
greater
living
than the
room.
weight of all the
My
diamonds
light
she had left
steps make
behind.
a
She
quiet
wasn't just
sound
running
on the
away to
wooden
freedom.
floor.
She was
I
accepting
feel
a gift of
very small
sacrifice
in
from the
this
only
big,
person she
empty
thought she was
house.
leaving forever. The lighthouse
Julian's
and the
world
happy ending
has
the
no
bus dropped
strong
her off in a
colors.
small,
It
windy
has
port
no
town a few
strong
miles from the
smells.
lighthouse. The
My
air
old
was
life
salty and
had the
cold,
smell of
a
cheap
welcome
coffee
contrast to
and
the
colourful
suffocating heat
paint.
of the inland.
This life
She didn't
smells
feel the pain
only
in her
of
feet,
clean air
only the
and
urgency
quiet
to see the
perfume.
lighthouse, to see
This
the proof of her
silence
new
is my
life and
prison.
Julian's
I
sacrifice.
go to the
She
big
walked the
mirror
last
in our
mile,
bedroom.
climbing the
I look
rocky
at my
hill,
face.
and there
I
it
wear
was,
a
the
dark blue
lighthouse
dress
at the end of
tonight.
the world.
The diamonds
It
on
wasn't
my
grand.
neck are
The
very
stone tower
bright.
was worn by
They
salt and
cost
time,
much money,
but the light at the
but
top
my
shone
eyes
brightly
are
against the
empty.
darkening sky. The
They
adjacent
look
building,
cold and
which served
very
as the
tired.
lightkeeper's house, was
They look
closed
like a
but not
lake
abandoned.
that is
She
frozen
used the
in a
rusty key
long,
attached to the
dark
deed, the real
winter.
key, her mother's key
Julian
of
came
memory,
into the
and
room.
opened the door.
He put
The
his
smell
hand
of
on my
sea air
shoulder.
and old wood
His
flooded
hand
in.
is warm.
Inside, the
You are
furniture was
very
simple
beautiful,
but clean.
Elara,
On
he
the
said.
mantelpiece, on
It
a
was
shelf,
not
there
a
was an
question.
old,
It
blue-covered
was
book.
a simple
She picked it up,
fact.
and it
I
opened naturally
understood
to a
the
marked
big
page
truth
with a
then.
ribbon. It
My
wasn't a
life
novel.
is
It
wonderful,
was a ship's
but
logbook.
it is not
The
my
marked
life.
page was a
It
charcoal
is
drawing.
only
It
Julian's
wasn't of the
perfect
lighthouse,
life.
but of a
I
radiant
am
young woman,
only an
holding a
object.
small wooden box. And, under the drawing, an annotation in her mother's handwriting. The lighthouse is my home, but I am the light. The key is remembering what you are, not what you have. Be your own light, my love. And, at the top of the page, in small print, a recent annotation from Julian. I was never in danger. The problem was, I wasn't living. Now, I am. The lighthouse is being used by a charity organization for women's rehabilitation. I started this 6 months ago, for when you arrived, I knew you would need a purpose. Your freedom is not the end, it is the beginning of a job. Call the number on page 10. They are waiting for the new owner and keeper. Warm tears finally rolled down her face, but they weren't tears of sadness or fear. They were tears of redemption. Julian hadn't just freed her. He had built a purpose for her freedom. She wasn't just the runaway wife. She was the keeper of the lighthouse. She called the number, her voice hoarse with emotion. "Hello," she said, swallowing the lump in her throat. "My name is Elara, and I am the new lightkeeper." The voice on the other end was gentle, but firm. "Welcome back, Elara. Your work starts tomorrow." She hung up the phone. She looked out the window, at the vast, endless ocean. She didn't have Julian. She didn't have diamonds, but she had her mother's home, a new purpose, and, for the first time in a long time, the key to her own happiness, which had always been hidden in the memory of who she truly was. The promise of a happy ending was not the absence of struggle, but the certainty that she was now the architect of her own destiny, shining brightly, like the lighthouse beam, at the end of her old world.